Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the post-test discussion. That is, we are discussing the test number 9 over here from the top gear. Welcome to Edukemy. So, we'll be taking first the questions from polity sections as well as questions from the history sections majorly. Then we'll move on to the economy and science and tech part. So, welcome everyone. So, let us start the discussion. Yeah, so I hope this is visible, and I would appreciate your comments and what is the answer to each and every question over here. So do put in your comments and सारे इसके answers आप दे दो. Right, which of the following, the first question says it's on polity. ये polity पे question है. Which of the following state legislature have special provisions in the constitution to have members indirectly elected? अब indirect elections की बात करते हैं यहाँ पे or elected through separate electorate in the legislative assembly. So it's the article 371 in our constitution. Very, very important after the special status that are given to the states. Right, it is talking about that. So according to article 371, Sikkim and Nagaland are the two states over here which gets so see accordingly 371G, the legislative assembly of Sikkim shall consist of not less than 30 members. 30 members, because for the rest of the legislative assembly they have from between 500 to 60 members. But in case of Sikkim, it is not less than 30 members. यानी कि 31, 32 ये भी हो सकते हैं, right? And in case of Nagaland, it is to be filled through election by the members of the Tuensang Regional Council. So special status to particular community, to that particular state is given according to article 371. So the answer to this is 371 article say the Sikkim and Nagaland, they have special feature about indirect elections to the legislative assembly itself. Let us move on to the second question. According to state people's movement, which all started from 1917, the Praja Mandal Parishads 1917 से ये start होती है. Remember, a question had already been asked in the UPSC previous year's question on the state people's movement, wherein the British government, they formed a committee, that is the Butler Commission was established. Right, we remember this, that the Butler Committee, this was named to look into the matters of the state people's movement and for the development of the states, right, the princely state according to that. So from 1917 only the state people's movement took place. It started from there. So the first India States People Conference, it was not in 1924. It was not in 1924. So the first statement over here is incorrect, right? So All India State People's Conference, right? The first session was held in Bombay in 1927, but the work for it, it all began from 1917 onwards. Jawaharlal Nehru served as the president of the All India State People's Conference. Yes, he did serve as that, as the president of the All India State People's Conference. During Quit India movement, Mahatma Gandhi urged the people of the princely state, that is the state peoples, to declare themselves a part of the Indian nation. So, given that a lot of the questions regarding your provinces have been covered to a large extent, this part is untouched area of UPSC. Yes, the Butler Commission have been asked in the examination, but we need to brush up regarding the State People's Conference. So this is the answer to it. Now, All India, the third question is All India Home Rule League. 1916 is the time period. We see Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak, they are forming two important fronts of this All India League, All India Home Rule League. So it was founded by Annie Besant. Yes, it was founded by Annie Besant. It later changed its name to Swaraj Sabha. Later it was what is the separate electorate for What is separate electorate? Separate electorate means, if for example in today's day, if this in general elections we are talking, if these two candidates, if these two or these three candidates are contesting for a particular position, right? So everybody will vote over there. But in separate electorate, what happens is, if this candidate, if this seat is reserved for manlo ki Muslim community, so only Muslim community people will be voting for having their own representative. Only Muslim community will be voting to have their representative. That is separate electorate. Okay. So here Mahatma Gandhi was elected president of the league. What league? All India Home Rule League. You see, the context comes from a Rowlatt Act. And a Rowlatt Act. So Rowlatt Act, which was under the Sydney Rowlatt. Under the Sydney Rowlatt. Under Sydney Rowlatt, this commission was formed, which to inquire. I know about separate electorate was brought in 1909. Yes, it was brought about in 1909. Okay, we'll come to that about separate electorate. What you are asking about that. First, we will be dealing with this question. Mahatma Gandhi was elected president of the league in 1920. See, Rowlatt Act, after it passed, it was opposed by Gandhi. On that pretext, it was telling that we would be arresting without any warrant, and we will be imprisoned without any warrant. Right. So this was the Rowlatt Act because it was for the investigation of the increasing crimes in India. Crimes in India. For this purpose, this Rowlatt Act was asked. Now, to oppose this, what Gandhi did? Gandhi started this Satyagraha Sabha. Satyagraha Sabha, Gandhi started over there. And for this Satyagraha Sabha in Mumbai, this was conducted, Satyagraha Sabha. For this, he included in his Satyagraha Sabha the young leaders from the All India Home Rule League movement, and that is why in 1920 he took the leadership, and after that it was named as Swaraj Sabha. Okay, Swadeshi movement we would be talking. So what is the answer of the Swadeshi movement? Consider the following. Let us read the statement first. What is the answer to this question? Consider the following statement with reference to Swadeshi movement, 1905. Now, it talks about Swadeshi movement was endorsed in the Banaras Congress session of 1905 of Congress under the presidency of Dada Bhai Nauroji. Right? So what is the answer to this? Swadeshi movement was endorsed in the Banaras Congress session. Yes, it was there, but it was not Dada Bhai Nauroji. Who it was? Text is to dim, not clearly visible. Okay. Yeah, now is it visible? Yeah. Swadeshi, but it was not in 1905, right? Dadabhai Nauroji, when he was the in 1906, he was the president. In 1905, who was there? He was Gokhale, right? Gokhale was the president of this Banaras Congress session, and this it was endorsed. Swadeshi movement was endorsed in 1905, not in 1906. In 1906, under Dadabhai Nauroji in the right in the Calcutta session. What happened? Dadabhai Nauroji. Dadabhai Nauroji in 1906 under his presidency. Front size is okay, but low brightness. How can we in okay. So under Dadabhai Nauroji in 1906, the Indian National Congress session happened in 1906 in Calcutta. There are 4 resolutions: Swaraj, Swadeshi, boycott, and national education was passed. So National Council of Education was set up to organize a system of education, literacy, scientific and technical on the national lines. Yes, this did happen when this happened in 1906. 1906 Congress session. Swadesh Bandhav Samiti was organized by Ashwini Kumara Datta. Yes, the Swadeshi Bandhav Samiti. Various samitis were formed in 1906. Why? Because they wanted to spread the message. They wanted to bring in more volunteers for the Swadeshi movement, the anti-partition movement. And that is why Ashwini Kumara Datta, he also organized this Swadesh Bandhav Samiti. So the first statement over here is wrong, because it was not under Dadabhai Nauroji, the 1905 session, it was under Gokhale. Now Ilbert Bill controversy. This was introduced to abolish the racial prejudice from the Indian Penal Code. See, earlier what used to happen, that the Indians, राइट इंडियंस को तो हम लोग जस्टिस देने के लिए देयर वर इंडियन जजेस, बट द इल्बर्ट बिल कंट्रोवर्सी, व्हाट it was regarding that the Europeans, they would also be judged by the Indian judges. That was the bill, and that was opposed by the Europeans. Why? Because they said that we cannot be judged by the Indians, and this was the controversy. It was introduced by Ripon, not Lytton. It was Ripon and not the Lytton. That was during the time. So he was the viceroy during the time when this Ilbert Bill came. Introduction of the bill preceded formation of the Indian National Congress. Yes, this statement is true. So the answer is 1 and 3 only. Jyotiba Phule, he founded the Truth Seekers Society. What is this Truth Seekers Society? It means Satya Shodhak Samaj. क्या है ये इसका आंसर? ये means सत्य शोधक समाज. इसका आंसर है yes, this is correct. In 1873 he started this. He wrote Tritiya Ratna and Shetkaryanche Asud. It's a Marathi language. So this is correct over here. He had also written Gulamgiri. And Gulamgiri, he has also written Gulamgiri. So this also, so both the statement over here are correct. Now, All India Anti-Compromise Conference, when during the Second World War, All India Anti-Compromise struggle start hoti hai. So this is against the that some of the leaders they happen to give support to the British ki British ko support karte hain hum log. Why? Because they are against this Nazi force and against this fascism. That is why we would be supporting a good element. But Subhash Chandra Bose was on the opposite side. He said that why should we support both the elements? That is why an anti-India and all India anti-compromise conference was constituted, where the Kisan Sabha was also participant along with the forward block which was founded by Subhash Chandra Bose. So it was convened to express opposition to provision of Gandhi-Irvine Pact? No. Gandhi-Irvine Pact was back in 1931. So this is not the correct option. Swami Sahajanananda Saraswati, who was the president of the 1936 and who was the forefront leader in foundation of the All India Kisan Sabha, and Subhash Chandra Bose, who was the founder of the Forward Bloc that was founded within the Indian National Congress in 1939, were associated with the conference. Yes, they were associated. Okay, so the conference was organized by Swami Sahajanananda Saraswati and presided by Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, this secular native female school, what is this? This is nothing but the Bethune school, later on which came to be known as the Bethune school. Bethune school, this is there. So Keshav Chandra Sen is not related to this secular native female school, but who is associated? We have John Eliot, who is associated with this. Then Indian Women's University, is it by Dhondo Keshav Karve? Yes, it is by Dhondo Keshav Karve, the first women university. Native Ladies, Women and Adult School, it was started by K.C. Sen and non John Eliot. So this statement are incorrect. Yes, the first statement is incorrect and the third statement is incorrect. So you have been asked incorrectly match kaun se hai. तो आंसर क्या है इसका? The first and the third. Now, with reference to the history of Puducherry, what is the correct following statement? And we have to understand which are correct. The Dutch transferred the Puducherry to French through the Treaty of Ryswick. Yes, after the battle, the Treaty of Ryswick was signed between the... Just a minute. Yeah, so you see, Dutch captured Pondicherry in 1693 and the treaty was signed, the Treaty of Ryswick was signed in 1697 and Puducherry was transferred to the French by the Dutch. That is why the first statement is correct, but the second statement is incorrect over here. What is there? The French, who was the first governor? Francois Martin, in right back in 17th century, 1673, 74 में Martin was the first governor general of Puducherry, and Duplessis, he was later on in 1740s when we see during the second Anglo-Mysore war, the first and the second Anglo-French war during this Carnatic phase, the Battle of Arcot, very significant battle. So in this time he was there, and it was not before independence, but till 1963. The third statement says that Puducherry was transferred to India before India's first general election. So this is incorrect over here. It was transferred way back after the first general election in around 1962. 1962, the instrument of ratification was signed. 10th question, a resolution of 1882 on the local self-government in India. And the father of local self-government in India, Ripon is also known as by that name. So the answer to this is 1882 में Ripon, he led the foundation for the local self-government. See, local self-government से याद आता है तो constitution में 73rd and 74th amendment, these are important. Then when we are talking about the local self-government, when you are talking about this, important ancient Indian scripture nahi, inscription, that is from the Chola time period, that is the Uttar Merur inscription. Uttar Merur inscription, this is very true, and so ये आपको याद रखना है. Yeah, so consider the following statement with respect to official language of the states. The constitution does not specify the official language of the different state. Yes, it does not specify. The choice of the state for its official language is limited to the languages enumerated in the 8th schedule. So 8th schedule में 22 languages है. Can it be only from the 22 languages? The answer is no. It can choose out of that 22 language also. For example, English. So this is not correct. Official language of the union remains the link language for communication between the union and the state or between the two states. Yes, this is true. This is a link between the two considerates. Some are very easy questions. Which of the following offenses, अभी यहाँ पे offenses पूछे हैं, are covered under section 8 of the Representative of the People's Act. Representative of the People's Act दो पार्ट है, 1951 for disqualifying members of legislature, right, for breaking the law for exporting prohibited good. Yes, you are breaking the law, so you can be disqualified on this. Preaching untouchability, yes. Adulteration of food, this you on this basis also you can be disqualified. Removal of ballot papers, अगर ballot paper आप निकालते हो from the polling station, this is a crime and this can be led to the disqualifying of the legislature. Preventing the signing on of the national anthem, is this right? So where we were, so all of the above are the answers to this question. Let us move towards Samwara philosophy. What is this Samwara philosophy? Samwara philosophy essentially deals with the stoppage of the influx of material karmas into the soul consciousness. This philosophy is part of which religion? It is a part of your Jainism. Jainism religion का ये part है Samvara. Basically, to purify your soul consciousness, you need to avoid some of the influxes into your body. So this process is known as Samvara in Jainism. ठीक है? तत्व जिसे बोलते हैं, कुछ तत्व हमें फॉलो करने पड़ते हैं, वन ऑफ द तत्वस इज संवरा. Question number 15. Consider the following with reference to private member bill. A private member, now you have to answer which of the following are correct. A private member bill is one which is introduced by member of parliament, yes, belonging to opposition party. This is wrong over here. Private member में यानी कि जो ministers नहीं है वो. Now introduction of a private bill requires notice of 1 month period. Yes, एक महीने पहले ही आपको नोटिस देना पड़ता है. Legislative Department of the Ministry of Law provides a support to this. So a public bill is drafted by the concerned department in consultation with the Legislative Department of Ministry of Law. So is concerned with drafting of principal legislation. ठीक है. whereas drafting is responsibility of the member concerned. अगर minister का होता है तो they will be helping, but for the rest they will be having their own concerned member will be doing it. So the statement is incorrect over here. Now question number 16th. The governor of a state has wider discretionary power than the president. This is correct. President को he had to work according to the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, right? So this provision is not there with respect to the governor. The governor of a state can ask for a reconsideration of the advice given by his or her Council of Ministers, while the president cannot. President can ask for reconsideration, but when, right, Article 74, the president too can ask for reconsideration advice given by Council of Ministers, and the reconsideration के बाद the president is bounded. But whereas the Council of Ministers headed by the chief ministers give aid and advice to the governor, but the governor can act on his discretion. He is not bound by the advice, whereas the president is bound. That is why we say that discretionary power of the governor, जो गवर्नर की discretionary power है, that is more than the president. ठीक है. The third statement, the advice given by minister to the governor can be inquired into the court of law, but the one given to the president cannot be inquired. They cannot be inquired. No, none can be inquired into the court. So the only first statement is right over here. Now with reference to administration of the 6th schedule area, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Consider the following statement. The governor can change the name of the autonomous district. Yes, he can change the name of the autonomous district. ठीक है. The governor nominates 1/4 member of the district council. It is not 1/4, it is 4 members. So this statement is incorrect. The jurisdiction of the High Court over the suits to be decided by the village council is decided by the governor. Yes, this statement is also true, and the answer is 2 only because incorrect statement पूछा है. Now the question is with reference to the electronically transmitted postal ballot system. That is, electronically you do not need to go at the particular station, the service people. So you have this electronically transmitted service ballot system. Consider the following statement. It is developed to help service voters exercise their voting rights. Yes, this is a system that is developed for that. It is secured system within a 2-layer security system. Yes, it has OTP system is there in this, and you also have a pin that you received. So 2-layer security system It was developed with the help of the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, that is CDAC. So this is also true. So all the statements are true over here. Okay, for details we have this in our gazette also, we have covered over here. So आप देख लीजिए. Now with respect to 42nd Amendment Act, 42nd Amendment Act 1976, which of the following statement are correct? The term dignity of the individual was added to the preamble. This is incorrect over here. Preamble में हमने 3 words add किए थे. What? Secular, socialist and integrity. And integrity was added to here. ठीक है, socialist, secular and integrity. These 3 words were added. 11 fundamental, so this statement is incorrect. 11 fundamental duties were added. 11 तो recommendation दिए थे स्वंत सिंह कमिटी ने, but 10 were added. Subject of weights and measures were shifted from state list to the concurrent. Yes, along with this subject of weights and measure, 5 subjects were moved from the state list to the concurrent. One of them was education. Second one was forest. Very, very important. So ये दो याद रखो, that it were moved from the state list to your concurrent list. With reference to Article 21, very easy question. Which of the statement are correct? The requirement of substantive due process into Article 1 was introduced by judicial activism. Very straightforward statement. It cannot be suspended in the event of national emergency. Yes, it cannot be suspended. So which articles can be suspended when? Do remember to look into these articles. ठीक है. And this is also a very easy and a factual question. It was 23rd. Choose the option which best defines the term state. State को क्या define करता है, right? So if you read this 4th option, that is D, an agency created to enforce rules of conduct and ensure obedience. What does this mean? It means government, है ना? क्या बोलते हैं इनको? This is known as government. Agency created to enforce rules. A reason for free and independent developments of one culture. So this feeling to have a region or of one culture, so this is a form of nationalism. This is a form of a nationalism. Second option जो है, an imagined community held together by collective beliefs, aspirations and imaginations of its members, that is a nation. ये क्या है? ये nation है. Now, a community of persons who permanently occupy a definite portion of organized government to which the great body of inhabitants render habitually obedience. So this means it is a state. It's a state. So along with this question, do also read about the 7 aspects of a state given in Arthashastra. Arthashastra. ठीक है. CAG, with respect to CAG, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. What is the first question? CAG can be removed by the President on the same ground and in the same manner as the judge. Yes, he can be removed on the same ground as the judge of the Supreme Court. Union Finance Minister represents the CAG in the Parliament. No, he is not represented by the Union Finance Minister. RBI of India is audited by CAG. CAG doesn't audit RBI, so some of the private organization is being given to audit the RBI. So you see over here, the third statement is not audited by the CAG. Some of the corporations are subjected to private audit. For example, your LIC, now LIC's IPO is out, so this is also in news. Reserve Bank of India, State Bank of India, FCI and others. ठीक है, ये सारे क्या होते हैं? They are audited by private organizations. So deputy speaker, with reference to deputy speaker of Lok Sabha, he or she has to be elected within 6 months. ये 6 months के दौरान नहीं, whichever the time, as soon as possible, he or she has to be elected. Who? The deputy speaker of Lok Sabha. And the time is not specific, but as soon as possible. By parliamentary convention, the post was always, word देखो, offered to opposition party. No, after the fourth general election, it became a convention कि opposition party से हमें we should be having the post of deputy speaker should be from the opposition party, from the Morarji Desai time. So he or she is not subordinate to the speaker. Yes, he is not subordinate to the speaker. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, MBT, for MBT, the Sultan of Delhi. So brass and copper currency were introduced by him to the dearth of gold and silver. The token currency उन्होंने introduce किया था. Everybody knows about his expeditions in Karachi, expeditions in the Afghanistan area. So even the movement of his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad region. This is also a famous move by MBT. Now he was the first ruler to issue the token currency. Yes, he was there. Success of token currency led to its adoption by his successor. This was actually a failure. The token currency was a failure. So when MBT was replaced by FST, that is the Firoz Shah Tughlaq, so he cancelled all his experiments. Now Chinese traveler Huansang was the 7th century traveler. 7th century traveler. So he visited Kashmir, Mandawar, Kashipur, Nalanda, everywhere he visited this. So this is the correct statement. Then we will directly move to 30. Yes, Rajendra Chola. 37 question number, Rajendra Chola. He brought Straits of Malacca under the dominance of the Chola Empire. Yes, Rajendra Chola, during his 10th century, he was very famous, the Chola ruler, and during his time he brought the Straits of Malacca and under the dominance of the Chola. Brihadeshwara temple, Raja temple, his son increase font size. Uh-oh. Just a minute. Just a minute, everyone. Yeah, am I audible? Am I visible, everyone? Sorry, there was some technical issue that was going on, and due to that, we needed to pause for a bit, and so we are back over here with the 37 questions. So, is it visible now? Whatever you are seeing right now? क्या आपको ये विजिबल है? So the answer to this question, right? So he brought, so we are talking about the sorry. Yeah, so the question is about Rajendra Cholavan. He brought Straits of Malacca under the dominance of Chola Empire. This is correct over here. Yes, इन्होंने लाया था. Brihadeshwara temple was by his son Raja, है ना, Raja in the 11th century. So Brihadeshwara at Tanjore is not by him. He established a city named as Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Yes, he established this Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Why? Because he has gone to an expedition on the Ganga basin, and he has captured many places over there. He has defeated the Gangas, many kingdoms at the Gangas. So that is why he had named a city after the Gangaikonda Cholapuram. And recently, a lot of expeditions have, a lot of excavations are being done near this Gangaikonda Cholapuram, where the brass, copper, इसके जो bracelets है, they are finding these bracelets. ठीक है, so do remember this Gangaikonda Cholapuram. The Cholas are in the current news. So now, yes, so question number 38. 38. 38, very easy question. What is the question? Question is about Guru Tegh Bahadur. The execution of Guru Tegh Bahadur by Aurangzeb. कब होता है ये? गुरु तेज सर अराउंड 1673 के आसपास होता है ये. गुरु तेज बहादुर, उनका, he was beheaded. So Guru Tegh Bahadur, we are celebrating the 400th birth anniversary of Guru Tegh Bahadur. He was the 9th Guru of Sikh, 9th Guru, and इनके जो son है, he is Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru. ठीक है, so do remember siege of Bijapur by Aurangzeb. So it was in 1680s. Battle of Dharmat fought between Aurangzeb and the Rajput Jaswant Singh Rathod. It was in the late 1658 के आसपास. So the answer is 3, 1, 2. Now next question is about economy, that will be covered in your economy section. Yes, question number 40. Question number 40 talks about Surya Siddhanta. Surya Siddhanta written by Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta, yes, this is true. है ना, Aryabhatta. Ganit Sarah Sangra was written by Mahavicharya. And Bhaskaracharya, he has written what? He has written Siddhanta Shiromani. He was a mathematician, he was an astrologer also. Brihat Samhita was written by Varaha Mihir. So the literature during the time of the Gupta, during the time of the Maurya, during the time of the post-Gupta, these are very important. So Surya Siddhanta by Aryabhatta is correct over here. Brihat Samhita written by Varaha Mihira, it is correct. Also go through the content of this portion. It is not possible कि 1 hour में we explain you everything regarding the content part, the context part. ठीक है, उनके content part पे आप अच्छे से देखिए. Yes. Next question is regarding the Pugalur inscription. Pugalur inscription is from the 2nd century AD. 2nd century AD, and it is of the Cheras in the Kerala region, of the Kerala region. So Pulugar or Pugalur inscription. Pugalur inscription. It describes the Chera kingdom, the Chera ruler and their military. Yeah. Then the question 42. 42. The first statement is with respect to Raj Tarangini. So Raj Tarangini, it was a Sanskrit literate book, which it was basically it describes the history, geography, the dynasties of all the rulers in the Kashmir region. So it was a 12th century book. So Kalhana has written this book in Sanskrit, Raj Tarangini. So written by Kalhana. Yes, the first statement is right over here. Then comes our next statement. This book is written. This book deals with history of Kashmir region. So yes, it deals with history of Kashmir region, written by. So both the statements are correct over here. Then UNESCO's World Heritage Cities. Which of the following Indian cities are part of the UNESCO's Creative City Network? From 2017, we see a lot of Indian cities are moving into the Creative City networks. So Mumbai, yes, Mumbai is there. Varanasi is there. Srinagar is there. We have Chennai. We have Hyderabad also, a part of the Creative Network cities. So not Jodhpur, and we do not have Bengaluru. So Mumbai, Varanasi are there, a part of your. So you see Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Jaipur, Varanasi, Srinagar. Jodhpur is not there. Apatani, the question is about the Apatani tribes. Apatani is associated with which of the following state of India? The Apatani view, unka jo viewing cloth hai. So that is getting a GI tag. So with respect to that, the question was, it is associated to which state? So the question is, so the answer is Arunachal Pradesh, Apatani community. Now, with reference to art and archaeological history of India, which of the following cave paintings were made earliest? Right? Arnamalai cave paintings. Where is this Arnamalai cave paintings? This is in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu. These are the Jaina temple cave paintings are there in this 8th century cave paintings. Similarly, Sitanvasal cave painting. These are also dedicated to Jaina paintings. This is the 9th century. 9th century, also in Tamil Nadu. Bagh cave painting, Buddhist caves, 6th century MP. 6th century mein these were built in MP. Bagh caves. And then we have the Ajanta, the 5th century cave paintings over here related to Buddhist cave painting. So the answer is Ajanta caves. So this is your 46th question number. Now 47th question talks about that which of the following are correct. Zikr. Zikr means chanting. Zikr karo. हम कहते हैं ना zikr karo. So it's about chanting of sacred formula. So all these terms are related to the Sufi mysticism. Then sama bandhana is singing. Yes, that is correct. Then you have raqs. Raqs means dancing. So all these terms are correctly matched over here. So the answer is 1, 2 and 3 all are correct over here. Now very important, Ramanuja ki theories and all these are in news. So which of the philosophies are correctly matched is the question. This is the last history question we will be taking. Then we will move on to the economy section. Advaita Vedanta. Advait, Vishishta Advaita. So this Advaita Vedanta philosophy. Advait philosophy is about Adi Shankaracharya. आदि शंकराचार्य। इट सेज कि ब्रह्मा जो है सिर्फ ब्रह्मा है, आत्मा एंड ब्रह्मा आर वन एंड द सेम, मोनोइज्म जो बोलते हैं, देयर इज अ सिंगल एंटिटी ब्रह्मा। सो दिस इज व्हाट अद्वैता फिलोसॉफी वाज देयर। फिर रामानुज, then माधवाचार्य comes into picture. माधवाचार्य says that no, we have advait, we have two different entities, that is Brahma is different and an individual soul is different, and there is something that an individual can join this Brahma, and how? So the bhakti marga. So this was the Dvaita philosophy that was given by Madhavacharya. Then comes your Ramanujacharya. रामानुजाचार्य आते हैं और वो कहते हैं कि यस अद्वैत फिलोसॉफी है, बट हाउ? इट इज विशिष्ट अद्वैता. हाउ इज देयर? इट इज विशिष्ट advaita, which tells you that yes, individual do have some kind of relevance. World is also relevance, but it is a part of the Brahma. ब्रह्मा का सारा पार्ट है, that is why you cannot differentiate. So ब्रह्मा का ही पार्ट है यूनिवर्स और इंडिविजुअल सोल, आत्मन, जिसे आत्मन बोलते हैं. ठीक है. सो विशिष्ट अद्वैता इट वाज गिवन बाय रामानुजाचार्य. So the answer is only 2 is correctly matched over here. So this is about the history polity questions, some of them. We again apologize, there was a technical glitch in between. So from the next time we will ensure that no such technicality glitches are there. So we will start with the economy section now. Just give us a moment to start with that.
Hello. So today we are having some funny time with the technology. Okay. So we are facing some trouble here, but nevertheless we will finish this and we will discuss some of the important questions of economy. Okay. So I am Banke Bihari and we will be discussing questions of economy here. Okay. Okay. So question number 28. Okay. Let's go back to the question number. Okay. Okay, so navigating the question is a bit tricky using this technology, but there is nothing much you can do here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so hope question is visible to you. Okay, hope question is visible to you all. Okay, now let's say, okay, consider the following statements regarding overseas direct investment. Okay, we all have heard about FDI. Okay, that is foreign direct investment. This is overseas direct investment. Even if you have not heard the term, you can take a guess that it is overseas direct investment. It's overseas. It is something related to investment from India to overseas, to other countries. Okay, first, prior registration with the RBI is mandatory for making direct investment under the automatic route. So this statement, if you will see this statement carefully, it says that prior registration with RBI is mandatory for making direct investment under automatic route. Of course, it is not correct. Okay, if it's automatic route, it's automatic route. Prior registration with RBI is not mandatory. So one to galat ho gaya. If one is wrong, then A is gone and C is gone. So now we have to choose between B and D. Okay, and then the second is ODI in Pakistan is allowed. Okay, so now this is something, okay, I won't say it is counterintuitive, but many of you may fall for the trap that ODI in Pakistan may not be allowed. But as it is, ODI in Pakistan is allowed, but of course the person or the entity which is making the investment in Pakistan will have to first take prior permission from the government. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so via approval route it is allowed. Okay, तो ये हो गया, ठीक है, तो आंसर हो गया 2 only. ठीक है. One more interesting thing is that if you want to invest in Nepal, for example, then ODI in Nepal is permissible only if you will invest in Indian currencies. Okay, so you cannot invest in dollar in Pakistan, sorry, in Nepal. Okay, in Pakistan you can in dollar, of course, because the Indian currency is not accepted in Pakistan, but since Indian currency is accepted in Nepal, so yes, you can do that. Even in Bhutan you can invest in Indian currency. Okay, Bhutan में भी आप Indian currency का use कर सकते हैं investment के लिए. That's that. ठीक है. Okay, so 2 only is the correct answer. Okay, okay, so let's see question number 29. Consider the following statements with reference to payment banks in India. Okay, so this is about payment banks in India. Now you know about payment banks, you know all the features of payment bank, what is the difference between payment bank and a small finance bank. Okay, so if you know all these things, this question was a cakewalk for you. Okay, very easy question. It can accept demand deposit but not time deposit. What do you think about this? It can accept demand deposit. It can accept. Indeed, payment bank can accept demand deposit, but it cannot accept time deposit. Okay. Now see, if it cannot, if there is a banking entity which cannot accept time deposit, if it cannot accept time deposit, then will it be allowed to lend? Will it be allowed to give loan? Okay. So if a statement 1 is correct, then a statement 2 got to be incorrect. Are you all getting the thing? If a statement 1 is correct, then a statement 2 got to be incorrect, because unless an entity is taking time deposits, it cannot advance loan, because suppose you will deposit money today and the entity will forward it as loan, and tomorrow you will just go and ask for your money. Okay, then bank won't have money to give it to you. Okay, तो इसलिए statement 2 तो गलत हो गया अगर statement 1 सही है. If you know statement 1 is right, then logically statement 2 is incorrect. It can advance loan. No, it cannot advance loan. And issue debit cards like any other commercial bank. Okay, issue debit card. Now this is correct. Okay, it can indeed issue debit cards. Okay, तो ये सही है. It can, payment bank can issue debit card. So this second part of the second statement is correct. First part is incorrect. That's why the statement in itself is incorrect. ठीक है, तो ठीक है. Issue debit card like any other commercial. Can it issue credit card? Payment bank, can it issue credit card? Okay, so no, payment bank cannot issue credit card, it can issue debit card though. ठीक है, ध्यान रखने की बात है. It has to maintain both CRR and SLR. So focus is on both. So yes, indeed, payment bank have to maintain both CRR and SLR. Okay, many people get confused with the payment bank, small finance bank. These banks have to maintain CRR and SLR or not. So yes, they have to maintain CRR and SLR. Okay, even regional rural banks, all those banks have to maintain CRR and SLR both. ठीक है, इसमें कोई कंफ्यूजन की बात नहीं है. ठीक है, so answer is 1 and 3 only. ठीक है, because just now we discussed that statement number 2 is incorrect. ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है, which of the following statement correctly defines, okay, Ingalls Law. Now, Ingalls Law is related to the percentage of money a individual spends on its food related needs, okay, with change in income. Okay, so Ingalls Law says that people generally spend a smaller part of their budget on food as their income increases. Okay, so statement 1 is correct. Okay, there is far-reaching implications of this. Okay, it says that as long as majority of people in a country are in lower income group, okay, then they will spend more of their money on food related expenditures. Okay, so higher fraction of their expenditure will be spent on food related thing. Okay, that means they will be more impacted by food inflation. Okay, that means they will be more impacted by things like vagaries of monsoon and poor infrastructure. Okay, so this is Ingalls Law. It's very important law. Okay, you should know it. That it means that people generally spend a smaller part of their budget on food as their income rises. Okay, so richer the people, lesser percentage of their total expenditure they will invest on food. Okay, that's that. Okay, so statement A is correct answer. ठीक है. Okay, consider the following statement with reference to a small saving instrument. Just ठीक है, small saving instruments. Now, a small saving instruments is a very particular kind of saving instruments. Okay, there is a list of instruments which government have classified as a small saving instruments. So you have to be very careful about that. The collection, which are the following statements with reference to? Consider the following. The collection forms a part of Consolidated Fund of India. So whatever the money being deposited by general public, by common public in under a small saving instruments, it goes to Consolidated Fund of India. Is it correct or incorrect? Okay, of course it is incorrect because it goes to public accounts of India. ठीक है, ये public accounts of India में जाता है, Consolidated Fund of India में नहीं जाता है. ठीक है. It is administered by Reserve Bank of India. Second, what do you think about statement number 2? Okay, it is administered by Reserve Bank of India, is it? Okay, it is not administered by Reserve Bank of India. It is administered by Ministry of Finance. ठीक है. So a small saving instrument is administered by Ministry of Finance. So this is another important fact related to small saving instruments. Okay, we have already asked question related to individual and small finance, small saving instruments. Okay, so एक गलत है, दो गलत है, 1 and 2 both are wrong. So if 1 and 2 both are wrong, then by default we know that C got to be the right answer. Okay, because we do not have any other option. ठीक है, तो कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, तो इसमें 3 को देखने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. But you can even have a look at 3. Sukanya Samriddhi Scheme and Kisan Vikas Patra are type of small saving instruments. Yes, these are examples of small saving instruments. So if you know what are small saving instruments and what are the examples of small saving instruments, then you will be able to get 3 correct. Okay, so 3 only is the correct answer. You know, small saving instruments, you can subscribe to small saving instruments. Some of the small saving instruments can be subscribed either in a post office or in commercial banks, and while some of the small saving instruments can be subscribed only by going to post office. Okay, so two entities, post office and commercial banks, you can approach for subscribing to small saving instruments. ठीक है? Okay. Again, a small saving instrument is a very important topic always. Consider following a statement with reference to Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. Okay. Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. It is a pension program for women from SC/ST community. See, in this scheme there are two things. Okay. In this statement there are two things. It is a pension program, एक, और दूसरा. Okay. There are three things: pension program, women, and SC/ST community. Of course, woman becomes redundant because it's already written Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. Okay. So for those who understand Hindi, women to become redundant. So we have to check two facts: is it a pension program and is it for SC/ST community? Okay. Both the things are incorrect. Okay. Mahila Samriddhi Yojana is not a pension program. It is to encourage entrepreneurship. Okay. So this is to encourage entrepreneurship, not a pension program. So yeah, this becomes incorrect, and it is not for SC/ST community. It is for backward classes. So those communities which are classified as backward classes only are eligible. Okay. So maybe we can. Okay. Just when we will look at an explanation, there is a list of eligibility criteria is given. Okay. So that only those people can get it. Okay. They should be above age of 18 and things like that. Okay. So this is for backward community. Okay. And for promoting entrepreneurship. तो एक तो गलत हो गया. जैसे ही एक गलत हुआ तो now we have to choose between B and D. ठीक है. और यहाँ it is a program under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Okay. Thankfully this time ministry is right. Okay. So this is correct. It's a program under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Okay. Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. I think the word Samriddhi should also have told you that it is not a pension program. Okay. Samriddhi means increasing your wealth now. Okay. So this is right. This is there is no correlation between the word Samriddhi and pension. Okay. At least no direct correlation. ठीक है. तो आंसर हो गया. यहाँ आंसर आ गया 2 only. ठीक है. ये सही है. Okay. Now. Okay. Consider the following statement with reference to hybrid annuity model. Okay, hybrid annuity model. Nowadays government is trying hybrid annuity model for promoting infrastructure growth. Okay, so this model is important for mains examination also. That what are the problems? Why government is not able to reap as many is not able to attract as many private players as it hoped. Okay, but this question is related to features of hybrid annuity model. Okay, first, developer operates the infrastructure for a specified time to recover costs and transfer it back to the government. Okay, if you know BOT, okay, if you know BOT model, built operate transfer annuity model, then you know that statement number 1 is related to this model. Okay, in hybrid annuity model, developer never operates the infrastructure. Okay, so be very careful here. In hybrid annuity model, developer never operates infrastructure. तो 1 तो गलत हो गया. The moment 1 गलत हो गया, okay. So the options have been set very intelligently. Even though you have eliminated 1, you still have to choose between B, C, and D. ठीक है. Financial risk is shared between government and private player. Yes, it is right. Risk is shared between government and private player. Not one is burdened with the risk. So 2. The developer has no right to collect toll. Okay. So yes, indeed, developer has no right to collect toll. See, in build, operate, and transfer model, BOT model, developer have right to operate it and collect the toll for time being till the cost is recovered. But here in hybrid annuity model, the private player which has built it will never operate it and will never and do not have right to collect toll. Okay? Then how they get money? See, so how they get money is in hybrid annuity model. 40% of the money is given by the government over first 5 years. Okay? 40% over first 5 years. Okay? So 40% of the amount is given by the government to the private player over first 5 years as annuity, annual annuity. Okay? And the rest of the amount is given over coming say 15 years, and government will collect toll. Okay? So toll collection will be done by the government, and then government will pay private player. Okay? Over next 15 years. ठीक है? Clear है बात कि टोल कलेक्शन जो है वो प्राइवेट कंपनी नहीं कर रही, वो काम सरकार का है. ठीक है? ओके ओके कंसिडर फॉलोइंग. अच्छा ठीक है, लेट्स ठीक है. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स विद रेफरेंस टू एक्सटर्नल कॉमर्शियल बोरोइंग्स. ठीक है, ईसीबी. ठीक है, ठीक है. एक्सटर्नल कॉमर्शियल बोरोइंग्स which of the following statements are correct about ECB. Now you know external commercial borrowing, is it part of capital account or current account? You know it is one of the components of India's capital account. ठीक है, इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. It is not allowed for investment in capital market. It is not allowed for investment in capital market and real estate activities. Indeed, ECB is not allowed for investment in capital market, real estate activities, or if you want to play gambles in stock market. So in equities also it is not allowed. Equity investment. Okay, so you cannot borrow borrow under external commercial borrowing and then invest in equity market. ठीक है, तो पैसा वहां से लेकर के यहाँ पर दुगुना तिगुना आप नहीं कर सकते हैं. You will have to invest it in businesses and other allowed activities only. Equity investment is not allowed. So it is not allowed. Okay, so one तो correct है, one is correct statement. The moment one is correct, B and D is gone. Now we have to choose between either A or C. ठीक है, it is not allowed for any entity fully owned by the government of India. Again, second note, it is not allowed for any entity fully owned by the government of India. External commercial borrowing is indeed allowed. Okay, recently there was a change in rule, and so it becomes a statement. So this is not a concept based question. First statement is your general awareness, and second is about current affairs. Okay, so it is not allowed for any entity fully owned by the government of India. Yes, recently Exim Bank, Export Import Bank, okay, so recently Exim Bank was Exim Bank and SIDBI have been permitted to take money under external commercial borrowing. Okay, so and Exim Bank, as you know, is fully owned by the government of India. ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब ये हो गया कि 2 तो incorrect है. ठीक है, तो 2 incorrect है, तो we arrived at the answer that 1 only is the correct answer. ठीक है, ठीक है. Now yeah, so we are right now discussing economy related code. Okay, questions from economy. Okay, consider the following statement with reference to extended fund facility. ठीक है, so consider the following statement with reference to extended fund facility. Now, extended fund facility was in news recently because of which crisis? Because of financial crisis being faced by Sri Lanka, because of balance of payment crisis being faced by Sri Lanka. If you knew at least this much, okay, that extended fund facility was related to something related to balance of payment crisis in Sri Lanka, then you could have promptly eliminated one. ठीक है, let's see. let's say statement 1, it aims to provide assistance to countries experiencing serious payment imbalances. So 1 is correct. If you have just remembered that कि उससे related है, that's why I'm saying that you must read newspaper and you must read magazines like Gazette, so that even if you do not remember all the facts exactly, but still if you can remember some of the things, you will be able to eliminate. Okay, तो एक तो सही है. If 1 is correct, then B is gone and D is gone. Either 1, 2, 3 is correct or 1, 3, 4 is correct. So again we have to decide between option 2 and option 3. It is a fund created by World Bank. Okay, if you know that it is related to payment imbalances, it is related to balance of payment crisis, then you know that it's not World Bank who countries approach for in such circumstances. Okay, which is the international organization countries approach in times of balance of payment crisis? Okay, which international organization do you remember were approached by the country, by India in 1991? Okay, IMF. Yes, you got it right. So it is IMF. Okay. So it is a fund created by IMF. Okay, it is not a fund created by World Bank. Okay. So 2 is incorrect, and the moment you know 2 is incorrect, you get the answer. Okay, that is C. Okay. 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 Now this, which of the following are among the features of international cooperation scheme? Now this is very factual question. If you do not know anything about it, it's very difficult to arrive at the answer. Okay, so this is very factual question unless you know about international cooperation scheme. So international cooperation scheme is a scheme of Ministry of MSME. Okay, and it is to promote MSME sector by incentivizing their participation in conferences and things like that, to promote their product in both international and domestic market. Okay, so it is being implemented by, this is correct answer. The rest all are cooked up things. It aims to increase India. B, C and D are all cooked up options. Okay, so it is being implemented by Ministry of MSME. Okay, so this is very important. Again I'm repeating the point that international cooperation scheme, it is giving no hint that it has something to do with MSME. Okay, so whenever you see this kind of relationship between ministry and a scheme, then you should be extra careful. Okay, okay. Okay, now we'll go to question number 39. Okay, ये कहाँ चला गया? ठीक है, let me bring it back. Okay, इस टेक्नोलॉजी में दिक्कत ये है कि बार बार खींच के लाना पड़ता है, कि बार बार भाग जाता है. ठीक है, so it's struggling. We used to use some other things, but currently we are facing some problem. Okay, so let's bear with this. Okay, World Energy Outlook. Again, इसका तो ऑप्शन ही चला गया है. ठीक है, so let's forget this question. Let's go back to question number 77. Okay, economy starts again on question number 77. So yeah, slowly we are inching towards question number 77. ठीक है, आ गए भाई. Question number 77 आ गए. Okay. If a firm is highly leveraged, what does it mean? Okay, so this is meaning of the leverage. Okay, again, this question was asked and this term was in news so many times because of NPA crisis and prompt corrective action by RBI. Okay, so okay, prompt corrective action by RBI, prompt corrective action PCA by RBI is based on 3 criteria. Okay, and what are the three criteria? CRAR, NPA, and third is leverage ratio. Okay. Now, if a firm is highly leveraged, what does it mean? Okay, so leverage ratio is applicable not just for banks, but for any firm. So if a firm is highly leveraged, it means it is using more debt than equity to finance its activities. That means the firm is taking more loan. If a firm is taking more loan to fund its activity, then that means it is highly leveraged. Now, high leverage is good or bad for a firm? Okay, so if a firm is highly leveraged, that means it is not a very good thing. Okay, ideally a firm will want that most of its things they are able to finance themselves, or they are able to take it on equity. Okay, so one is correct. Okay, that so highly leveraged means high loan. ठीक है, ये कनेक्शन याद रखना है कि हाई लिवरेज मीन्स हाई लोन. ठीक है, which is not that good thing. Okay, consider following a statement with reference to sunflower edible oil. Okay, why sunflower edible oil have been in news so many times? Okay, there are two factors. One is the inflation we are facing right at home, and other is why we are facing inflation in edible oil sector, because of the actions of Mr. Putin. Okay, so this was in news because of Russia-Ukraine conflict. Okay, statement 1: year-long growing season of sunflower is hindrance in growing it for edible oil production. Okay, so if we are importing so much of sunflower oil, then why not we are cultivating it ourselves? Okay, indeed we can. So statement 1 says that year-long growing season. It says that it has long gestation period. That's why we are not doing it. But this is incorrect. Okay, the growing season is only 100 days. Okay, so if you are sowing sunflower oil seed today, then after 100 days you will be able to reap the fruits. Okay, that is seeds. Okay, so not year long, it's 100 days thing. Okay, that's why there is a possibility that there is an opportunity for India to increase edible oil, to increase area under edible oil cultivation. ठीक है, तो वन तो सही है. ठीक है, वन तो सही नहीं है. Okay, because the statement is saying year long. Okay, ठीक है, तो वन हटा देंगे. Now we will have to choose between B and D. Ukraine and Russia are two of the largest sources of its import in India. Now, yes, it is correct statement. As it happens that normally क्या होता है कि चलो ठीक है, दो कंट्री से हम लेते हैं, तो अगर एक में कुछ दिक्कत हो गया, कोई ड्रॉट आ गया या some geopolitical conflict में फंस गया, तो we can increase our import from second country. Okay, but in case of sunflower oil, the problem is that India imports 70% of its requirement from Ukraine and 20% from Russia. Okay, so only 10% is from elsewhere. ठीक है, तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो गया. Ukraine 70%, 20% Russia. Okay, and both the countries are engaged in geopolitical conflict with each other. इसलिए India is facing a major problem. ठीक है, 2 is correct. Ukraine and Russia are two of the largest sources of its import. ठीक है, 2 is correct. 2 only is the correct. ठीक है, okay, ठीक है. Let's see. Which of the following changes have been introduced in the revised definition of MSME? Okay, we all know that as part of Ayushman Bharat Abhiyan, India have not Ayushman Bharat. Okay, as part of a measure to promote MSMEs, to support MSMEs during the pandemic, as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, government have changed definition of MSME. This you know. Now let's say first, criteria for classification of manufacturing units and services units have been made the same. Okay, so manufacturing units and services units have been made the same. Now indeed it is correct. Okay, earlier there were two criteria for manufacturing and services units, and that created a problem. Okay, it created complexity, whether some activities should be classified as so that there was classification related problems, and there was problems related because of the complexity also, because the one organization, if it is involved in both kind of things, then again they will have to they will have to follow two separate rules. Okay, so it has been merged. Okay, now both manufacturing and services sector have to follow same rule. Okay, same criteria for classification. So एक तो सही है. Turnover limit have been made criteria in place of, so turnover limit has been made criteria in place of investment limit to allow enterprises to retain MSME tag while increasing investment. Okay, so it is saying that earlier investment limit was used as a criteria. Now investment limit have been eliminated. Now it's not there, and only turnover limit have replaced it. Now is it correct or incorrect? Okay, we know that both turnover and investment limit are now criteria. Okay, so investment limit continue to remain one of the criteria. Turnover limit have been introduced as extra. Okay, to make the system more robust. ठीक है, तो दो तो सही है, ठीक है, दो तो गलत है, ठीक है, because turnover and investment both is there. It's not like one has replaced another. ठीक है, तो one only is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, which of the following conditions are part of impossible trinity of economics? Okay, which of the following conditions are part of impossible trinity of economics? Now impossible trinity, what does it mean? That all these three things cannot happen together. Okay, at max only two of these things can happen together. Okay, let's see the criteria. Floating exchange rate, free movement of capital, independent monetary policy. We know that impossible trinity, so three vertices, not floating, fixed exchange rate, okay, free movement of capital. Do India have free movement of capital? What are the components of free movement of capital? Okay, we have current account and capital. Okay, and third is independent monetary policy. Do India have independent monetary policy? India indeed have independent monetary policy because RBI decides it on its own. Okay, RBI is not forced to anything. Okay. Oh, Mr. Avi. Oh, great. That's interesting. Okay. Yen, euro, sterling, dollar, renminbi. Yes, you are right, Mr. Avi. And which of these have largest contribution in SDR? Which of these currencies have largest percentage contribution in SDR? Let me know that. And which of these are which one of these are the latest edition in SDR currencies? Okay, so answer is 2 and 3 only. It's a fixed exchange rate, not floating exchange rate. Okay, so this is one of that. Okay, now let's see question number 83. Okay, consider the following statement with reference to the provisions of the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, FCR. Okay. Okay, there have been renminbi is the latest edition. Yes, Abhi, you are right. Yeah, you are right. Renminbi is the latest edition. And which currency have the highest weightage? Which currency have the largest weightage? You are right that renminbi is the largest. Okay. Now let's move on to another question. consider the following statement with reference to provisions of the FCRA. ठीक है, the Aadhaar number of the office bearers of NGO will be mandatory for registration. Yes, yes, it is correct. Okay, तो one तो सही है कि Aadhaar number have been made mandatory. Okay, Aadhaar number, so recently the act was amended. Be very careful. That's why it becomes important for upcoming prelims examination. Second, foreign contribution must be received only in FCRA account in SBI's New Delhi main branch. Now this one, unless you know it, people normally say that the moment you see a extreme statement, you got to mark it as incorrect, but you have to be very careful. Statement number 2 indeed is correct. So foreign contribution must be received only in SBI's main branch in Delhi. Okay, so if you want to avail of the benefits of FCRA, then you will have to open a bank account in New Delhi SBI main branch. Okay, so this is very typical information. Unless you know it, it's difficult to get it correct. ठीक है, 2 सही है, both 1 and 2 correct. ठीक है. Okay, so let's now dollar. Come on, it got to be dollar, isn't it? It got to be dollar. Dollar is most prominent and most widely used currency, so it got to be dollar. Abhi, dollar is the correct answer. Okay, so we are done with the economy portion of it. Now we will quickly see some of the questions from science. No, if you see volume, it's dollar. Okay, and you can cross check. You just check percentage contribution of currencies in SDR. Okay, you check percentage contribution in SDR. Okay, so let's discuss some of the questions. Some 10 questions of science we'll quickly discuss. Let's go back to 51. Okay, see, we have China, which is holding so much of dollar. So dollar is undisputably largest. Okay, check it. Okay, with reference to ground level ozone, which of the following statement is correct? Okay, ground level ozone, it is created by chemical reaction between oxides of nitrogen and volatile organic compound under the influence of sunlight. Okay, so under the influence of sunlight and these two compounds. If you have read about this, other test discussions are also available on our YouTube channel. Okay, so I don't know if there is a separate folder. I think there is no separate folder there. But if you will scroll through it, you will find other test discussions as well. Okay, you will find that. Okay, it's there on our YouTube channel. Okay? You can Google test discussion there itself. In YouTube, you can search. Okay, test discussion. Okay, you will get it. Okay. With reference to ground level ozone, so it is created by chemical reaction between oxides of nitrogen, and so one is correct. Okay, that's why it is called that. Okay, now tell me, ground level ozone, is it a primary pollutant or secondary pollutant? Okay, no claims. Dikshit, SDR will have claims on IMF. No, SDR won't have any claim on IMF. Okay, it's neither a currency nor have any claim on IMF. Okay, okay. So ground level ozone, is it a primary pollutant or secondary pollutant? Okay, we know that it is a secondary pollutant because it is not produced from any industrial or activity. It forms later on in the environment. Okay, so one तो सही है. ठीक है, one सही है तो B and D gone. Okay, upper layer ozone is good, but lower ground level ozone is bad for humans and plants. Yes, this is yes, Azhar, right. Yes, and 2 is correct. This is an interesting fact that ground level ozone is harmful for health of both human and plants, while the same ozone in the stratosphere is good because it blocks the UV rays. Okay, ठीक है. Okay. Okay, lots of questions from Ukraine crisis this time. Okay. With reference to Nord Stream 2 pipeline, consider the following statement. Okay, if you have been following the news, then you know that Nord Stream pipeline is from Russia to Germany. So this part though was easy. It is a pipeline which was under construction between Russia to Germany. This was easy. So there are two things: 1200 kilometer and Baltic Sea. Okay, 1200 kilometer. I think it's a difficult, not difficult, but I don't think UPSC will play with this number. I don't think that UPSC will change this 1200 to say 200 kilometer and then will try to trick you. They don't expect you to remember all these numbers. Though again, at times UPSC do play with numbers, but mostly UPSC will not play with number. So we will assume that ये तो सही है कि 1200 किलोमीटर तो सही है, ठीक है, 1200 किलोमीटर सही है, and Russia to Germany is सही है. So only thing was Baltic Sea, whether you know about Baltic Sea or not. Okay, so again, if you know the geography of the place, of course, if you know about that, since see, I'm telling you again, for Russia, Ukraine, because of Russia-Ukraine crisis, whole region becomes very important. So you should be clear, you should be ready for at least one map-based question from that region. Okay, be very careful. Okay, कि कौन सा country किसको border करता है, कौन सा country कौन सा country landlocked है. All these things you should be very clear. Okay, you should expect question on such kind of relations. ठीक है, तो 1 तो सही है. Ukraine, Poland and Belarus are against the project. तो ये तो ठीक ही है. 2 तो there is no reason to doubt कि 2 गलत होगा. Okay, Ukraine, Poland and Belarus are against the project, and this will bring economic losses for them. Yes, ठीक है. No, Mr. Ravi. See, Mr. Ravi. Mostly, unless the fact is, unless the data is very important, UPSC will not play with data. Okay. Again, I am saying most of the time, not always. Yes, I know that there is this तुक्का trick कि जैसे ही digit दिखा, number दिखा, तो वो statement तो गलत ही होगा. Okay, there is this तुक्का trick going on, but this also you should understand that this 1200 thing is not that important a data that UPSC will expect you to know. But again, ये सब logic हम यहाँ लगा रहे हैं, UPSC का जो मर्जी होगा वही करेगा. ठीक है, तो UPSC but I am sharing my approach, but again UPSC is the king, वो जो करेगा वही करेगा. ठीक है, तो ये सही है. ठीक है, okay. With reference to export preparedness index, which of the following statement is correct? Okay, it was released by Export Import Bank of India, Exim Bank. We just discussed today, Exim Bank, Government of India have 100% shareholding. Okay, it was released by Exim Bank. Is it right? Export Preparedness Index. Okay, so the index was released by Niti Aayog. Okay, so 1 to galat hai, Niti Aayog. Okay, see nowadays, since last 3-4 years, UPSC is either asking one question on index or one question on report. Okay, again इसका ये मतलब नहीं हुआ कि जितना रिपोर्ट और इंडेक्स है सारे का रट्टा मारना है, ऐसा काम नहीं करना है, बट एटलीस्ट जो इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो आपको मैगजीन्स में मिल रहा है हियर एंड देयर, यू शुड कीप योर आईज ओपन फॉर दैट. ओके, डू नॉट मेक a 5-page list and then start mugging that. That's not required, but you should keep your mind open. ठीक है, it was released by expert. ठीक है, the index covers across all 28 states and 80 UTs. Okay, ये भी सही है. ठीक है, so 2 only is the correct state. ठीक है. Okay, I think we'll wrap up the session here. Okay, and to watch other discussions, you can always visit our YouTube channel. Okay, so there are the discussions always also, and we have started new current affairs, weekly current affairs discussion program also. So we can you can go and have a look at that also. Okay, so yeah, all the best for your exams.